Okay, this is the Hadoop environment which we would be using during our training. So since Hadoop doesn't work on Windows and it needs a Linux operating system to work, so this is a Linux desktop in which Hadoop is pre-installed. So basically this Linux desktop runs on top of a VMware player. So I would be providing this particular software to the people, to the trainees when they would be taking up the actual training, and also I would be helping them to set up or install this particular software on their particular laptops or machine. The only minimum requirement is 4 GB of RAM. That's the only requirement. Rest, a normal dual core processor or a Celeron processor will also work. Now the important thing about this particular Linux desktop is that once it starts, once it boots, so all the services which are related to Hadoop, that will get initialized. So this is the console, or the Linux console which we say generally. So once it starts up, you just type Hadoop and press enter. So it gives you some set of commands. So this will come only when Hadoop is installed. So you can see that Hadoop is already installed in this particular Linux desktop. So there is a command like Hadoop space version. So this will tell you that what is the actual version of Hadoop. So we are using Hadoop 2.0 version, and this is CDH 4.1.1. So now CDH is Cloudera Hadoop distribution. Cloudera is a Hadoop vendor, okay, which has pioneered in providing Hadoop, customized Hadoop solutions. So mostly all the enterprises, they go for Cloudera. In fact, there are other companies like Mapr, Hortonworks, Oracle, IBM, which are also providing Hadoop distributions. But Cloudera Hadoop distribution is one of the best available distributions in the entire market. So this is a free version of Cloudera Hadoop distribution, which I have customized myself with some of the additional features, which I would be telling you shortly. So this is having Hadoop installed in this particular Linux desktop. So so once this particular system will boot up, you will also have a similar kind of stuff which you see right over here. So I have a pre-installed Eclipse in this, and there is a training home folder. So if you go to the training home folder, you will see something as a training material. So this training material will be also in your systems when you install this. So it's not like you have to separately copy these things from outside. So now inside this training materials, for all the hands-on which you would be doing during the session, we have all the sample files, all the data. So whatever data is we would be using for our hands-on exercises, all the data is preloaded here. Also, all the exercises which we would be taking up during as part of our hands-on. So for all the exercises, I have created separate folders. And if you go inside the folders, then you have the sample solution as well already there. So during the training, what I would be doing is that I would be explaining you the concept, and we would be doing a hands-on. So I would be doing the hands-on, demoing it to you during the session, and the same exercise or the hands-on is required to be done by the candidates, post the session, and then probably they come up with the doubts. So all the exercises and all the data is already present in this particular Linux desktop. So just this needs to be set it up on the trainees system, and once it boots up, they will be ready to use this particular Linux desktop. And this doesn't consume much amount of RAM, it just uses 1 GB of RAM. So that's the reason why it's good to have 4 GB of RAM. So I just typed in Hadoop and Hadoop version. So if you just want to see what the Hadoop file system, then there is a command Hadoop fs -ls. So this lists all the HDFS, the Hadoop file system. So you can see that there is a HBase, temp, user, and var. So under user, if you just go to Hadoop fs -ls/user, and press enter. So you see something as training. So this /user/training, this Hadoop file system directory will be our working directory. This is the place wherein we will be placing all our files during the hands-on. In fact, we can even create separate HDFS directory and we can place it over there. But the user which we are logging into this particular machine is training. So this will be this /user/training will be our actual working directory for all the HDFS or the Hadoop distributed file system related operations. So all the examples which we would be practicing, we would be practicing over this particular directory. Also, one important thing, that since already all the services of Hadoop are running, so there is a browse. So in the browser, what I have done is that I have added all the favorites which are related to our running Hadoop server or Hadoop software. So if you so there is something as a Hadoop name node. So if you click on Hadoop name node, it will give you the Hadoop file system, right? So basically in the training I would be explaining you what a name node is, what a data node is, but this is just to demo to you about the existing file system. So the file system which I showed to you over here, we can even visualize it through this particular user interface. So you can see you have HBase, temp, user and more, right? So this is what is you see over here, the Hadoop file system. The same you can see via this particular UI. So this is basically, we call it as a name node user interface, right? Similarly, there is some other thing is called Hadoop job tracker. So basically this is related to the MapReduce programming. So when we would be actually dealing with the MapReduce programs and we would be running the MapReduce programs, so then we can see the running programs over here, right? And we can basically go to that particular program and we can see the internal details of how it is running, how fast it is running, how much amount of data in terms of bytes it's reading and writing, and all those other details. So all this would be the part of when the actual session I would be discussing with you. So the thing is that here, once this system starts up, you need not start or stop anything. Whatever thing is required, it's already up and running and ready to use. So that is one important aspect of this particular Hadoop distribution. So I have modified it, modified the kernel of this particular Linux desktop. So that's why at the boot time all the services will start, and it's very easy to stop also. So once you click on system and shut down, it will go off, right? And since this is running on top of your Windows, so you need not even have a separate Linux machine to get trained on Hadoop. Whatever is required, you can very easily practice in this particular system. Okay, and all the exercises, the ones which I would be sharing with you, or in fact the exercises which we download over internet or we get it from outside, we can even practice the same here also. So there is no need for a separate Hadoop environment. So this is well and good to serve the entire learning process.